Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railroad. Today we're going to be continuing along with our freeware route reviews and check out a slightly more notable name in the freeware category. This is the small slope route made by Zawal. I do believe this is available on the workshop. I know a couple of his routes come from Railworks, or Railworks America, and then some of them are on the Steam Workshop. Some of them I've had for a while, so I really do not remember specifically where, or which of the two that the route came from. But I do know most of them are on the Steam Workshop. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say most. I'm going to say this one probably came from the Steam Workshop. But this is a freeware route, and in nice fashion, it is done up pretty well. Um, it's not based on any prototype that I know of. I don't believe so. I believe it's just a freeware kind of point A, point B with pretty nice attention to detail across the board. So this is one end. I do not know the town names. I'll have to pull up the map to know what point is what. Um, some of you might know the route builders of all from the Kentucky 1935 route, and I believe there's another one, Mississippi, and I forget the year. As far as routes that he has done so far that are well known, which at some point I get around to taking a look at for. So obviously he does a pretty darn good job building a route with assets that are available. This being on the Steam Workshop, I think most of the assets in this route are used in various DLCs and whatnot. And typically they're laid out as far as what DLCs have been used, what you'll need for each route. So, not to go off on a tangent, but it's not half bad for using a lot of nearly 2-decade-old assets. Lots of use of the 3D-ish trees on the track side, which is really, really nice. I like that. People don't believe me. It makes a difference having these more 3D-ish. I mean, they're not the prettiest trees in the world still. I absolutely believe that Trains with a Z has laughably better scenery assets these days. But they're still a step up from the billboard trees that are back here. Some route builders still use this crap right next to the track, and I don't know why. It's long past the era that somebody's computer can't handle having stuff like this immediately trackside. I mean, you see the night and day difference of where it starts and where it doesn't. Trackside, it's time for 3D assets like this. So heavy use of that along the route. It does look really, really nice. Now, over on the one end, it's got a 4-track yard. And this is where one of my odd complaints for this particular route come up. I think a couple of the other ones have this issue. Is for scenario building and whatnot, it just kind of ends right there. But I do kind of wish that this was extended back a little bit further, especially if it's going to have a portal on it, like it's supposed to continue off. You know, maybe continue back into here and then have a portal so that a train can go off and disappear. Point A, point B. But that's really my only complaint with this side of the map. Kind of a fun little industry over here. And it's not particularly long. I believe this route is only 25, 30-ish miles long. So it's relatively easy to run end to end in one setting. Nice use of vehicles all along the roads and whatnot, which absolutely help give life to the route. It makes it look like, you know, it's busy, being used. Fun little scenes like this with some characters being used. That's a complaint that I've had with a lot of even routes made today, like the Tennessee Pass. That kind of made me sad. There's no usage of characters and animals and whatnot anywhere on that route, and it makes the whole route look just dead, so dead. It makes a difference having cars and whatnot parked around, people walking, people talking. Even if it's the same character used 20,000 times, which unfortunately is pretty much what we're stuck with, because again, assets do not get created for Train Simulator Classic. People do not bother with seeing it. It kind of irks me, but oh well, whatever. What can I do? We had our first train station. We are able to have passenger operations along the route. It doesn't have a passing siding or anything, but you can always go down to the yard there, run around your train, and go back if you so please to. Nice bike, bud. Tire treads are kind of wacky. Anywho. Nice usage of cars and people and whatnot, though. Very nice usage. The builder makes great use of assets available to him, which I can absolutely appreciate. I mean, this is the level of detail I would expect from a route that I pay for. You pay 40 bucks for a route these days, you should be getting this level of detail at bare minimum. You know, 3D trees all along the tracks. People in cars in the little towns and whatnot. Active roadways. I mean, you guys see the roads have AI cars where they should be. It makes a difference. It makes a route look busy, alive, filled in. Now, as you can tell, with the heavily wooded route, there are many different bogging scenes and such all along the route. So lumber would be an obvious choice for freight operations and such along the route. Fun looking bridge. Pretty nice uses of different rivers and whatnot. Other lumber industry. Come to one of our first freight setouts. Yeah. Just kind of a generic industry of sorts. It's got pipes, wacky looking pipes. It's got some pipes, crates, and such. I imagine just a generic set out for whatever. It's definitely a route geared more towards something like road switching rather than 8 mile long string trains, point A, point B. And it is a bit of a mountainous route, so obviously you're not going to be doing 70 miles an hour through here either. That's fun. Somebody's out with a walk with his dogs. There's stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it would be nice if things like the dogs were animated. That's nothing the route builder can do. I mean, I assume that's not his department, making animated assets, but it would be nice if they were animated. And what can you do about it? At least there's there. At least it's something. It's not just a dead route. A bit of river running right here. Lumber industry over here. Now, one thing I do notice along this route that I do kind of wish there was a little bit more of is we passed 2 industries thus far, and they've just been glorified passing sidings with no storage tracks, no set out area, nothing really. I kind of wish that there was some more of that. Like a logging industry like that, you'd probably set a couple strings of cars out. So having a couple spots so you can set tracks or set cars out, it'd be useful for replayability and whatnot. Keep somebody entertained, somebody that likes to do the road switching and switching industries and such. Just continue along. Ooh, somebody got stopped. Funny looking cop though. Huh? We'll go out on a wild limb though and say we ain't in California. There's a California cop. Look at there. Maybe. Another bit of a passing area here. 2-lane or 2-track area. I love this tunnel. This tunnel is awesome. Again, yeah, it's done up with older scenery, assets and such, but it's done up really, really well. I think it's pretty darn neat. It's just something more than the usual hole in the ground with a cover. So that's a nice bit. I don't think there's a huge point to the way it splits off like this. Maybe just to give a passing. Another little bit of an industry, something like gravel. Gravel or coal, unsure. Again, I do kind of wish that there was like a storage tracker set out for storage and whatnot. Another passenger station. Pretty well done up. I like it. Not quite as busy as the other one, but still used. Still populated. I will note so far, I haven't passed any real big towns or anything. Just kind of these little scatterings, which is all right. You know, it's different. Usually, you know, if there's a passenger station, there's a whole little town right behind it. And towns are hard to populate, which I know sounds very counter to real life, but towns I find in train sim are hard to make look alive and populated and busy. So it's not heartbreaking that we haven't really gone past down, because we end up with homes like this. A car out front, people out front. For speed limit signs, we can see kind of what speed limits are. P20, F20, P30, F20, or F30. Yeah, you definitely ain't flying along on this route. Ooh, a wooden bridge. A little bit of a set out over here for more lumber industry logging. Now this one's an actual set out. That's kind of cool. Not a passing sighting. Hi. Somebody's having some fun in a hot air balloon. Mustang inspires. Oh, that era is long gone. Oh, no, there's a new one right there in the center. I was gonna say, a little bit dated for 60s Mustangs. There's a nice new Shelby right there in the dead center. I guess you could get away with some modern locomotives in. This is a fun one. I forgot this one was here. Kind of an abandoned, maybe a mine-ish. It's kind of an abandoned old industry over here. Now, the assets are old. These two are very old. These are two separate assets. I do remember these from years ago when I myself was playing the root building. Yeah, these are dated. But it's a nice use of them. It does look pretty good. Boxcar kind of stands out a little bit. Old horseshoe curve asset. A little bit of a copious use of 2D trees up here. Ooh, there's some mad people sandwiched between a couple 18-wheelers. You ain't getting anywhere quick. Another fun spot. Bit of a, like a locomotive servicing facility. Maybe your railroad company for whatever road switching and whatnot goes on. Obviously set up for diesel locomotive power. I imagine it wouldn't be too terribly hard to set it up for steam power. I mean, heck, we got rivers all along for water sources. It's done up pretty nice again. Some people inside, a couple workers. Lots of clutter and whatnot around. Passing siding and a set out yard. or set out track, I should say. Now this is a fun little scene right here. A bit of a Y track right here. And now we have a little bit more of a town. Now as you can see, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. The town areas can get a little bit tedious. They don't look as populated or as good sometimes. This one looks pretty decent. I think you can stand to have some people outside or something here. Overall, not bad. Our white track kind of goes off over here. And ends up here. Good for scenarios and such. Fun scene. And we get a little bit more of a major yard. We got a kind of a 2-track main going through here and a 4-track yard. Passenger station-ish? Question mark? Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a passenger station, judging by the parking and whatnot. And it goes off and ends back here for a continuation of scenarios. So that is point A to point B on the small slope route by Zawal. Oh goodness. My computer struggles to keep up. As you can see, as far as industry goes, it's, they're kind of scattered here and there along the route. 3 or 4 of them. So there's a little bit for some road switching if one so pleases to. And then, of course, a decent point A, point B for passenger or freight. Take your pick. A couple little irks here and there that, they wouldn't be necessarily hard for somebody to improve on if they so pleased to, but the route as a whole is done up very nicely. And it is freeway, so kind of hard to complain about that. So let's take a bit of a trip. Giggles and squiggles. Bit older, Great Northern 480 Mastodon by Machine Rail, along with somewhat era-appropriate rolling stock from Great Northern. particularly long. Pretty nice, and it's not just flat across the entire. It's got some nice little hills and whatnot to keep you entertained and busy, especially if you operate speedboat boats like I do. Very neat. Very, very, very Yeah, I love that whistle. I really wish the whole like little place was part set to a different that is a small route, a small float route, available, I believe, on the Steam Workshop. You can Steam Workshop for I will go after definitely check it out. It's free play, don't have to pay any for it. guys enjoyed the video, highly